When it comes to the content on your website, it revolves around displaying some type of widget. And a widget can range from anything from text to a blank product listing to decorated product categories. Now there's over 30 plus widgets available that we can use to design the content on our site, and it's important to understand how each of these widgets work. First, it's important to understand that within the basics, we have the ability to add a column, or essentially how many different columns or rows we want to then display different widgets. If I've dragged a 2-column widget over here, I could then come over to widgets and then start adding, whatever kind of widget I want to the column or the amount of rows. But the widgets themselves, so let's go over them. First, we have text. Text is exactly what you would think about. It's like adding paragraph text that we can then format how we want it to be displayed. Forum. A forum allows us to collect information from the customer by having them fill out essentially a questionnaire, whether it be contact or requesting a quote. A spacer allows us to create a gap between content. A divider is a lot like a spacer, but instead of just being blank space, a divider actually uses a line, and then that line we can control the thickness, the type, and so forth. The page title changes based on the title of the page that we're on. This allows us to automatically create a auto-generated title. A heading is a lot like the page title, except for it can be uniquely used throughout any part of the website page itself. A heading is a lot like the text, except text is more paragraph versus heading is more like a title. Buttons are exactly what you would think they are. It allows you to essentially insert a button that is most likely going to be a link to another page or resource. Outside of the basics, we have our list. Now, the lists revolve around listing either blank products, designs, or pre-decorated retail products that are being sold. Now, we can either list them individually as, essentially here are the products as if it was on a shelf, or we can actually list categories to then allow the customer to navigate to the correct group of products that they're looking for. So again, we have the listings up top, or we actually have the categories, and then once we add the widget, we have several different configuration settings that we can configure. Within the media, we actually can add images, videos, sliders, and even an image gallery. So this is essentially, again, very common media that you would add to a website. If you're looking to be adding an Instagram feed, we're going to actually have social media widgets that we'll talk about here in a second that'll be used in that case. As far as business widgets, we can display different logos, whether they're payment logos or the software itself. We can add a login, newsletter, shopping cart, or even a map to show our geographic location. Within the social, we can add a Twitter feed, Instagram gallery, or social network links. Again, these are pretty self-explanatory and allow you to really be branding your website. Lastly, we have in the advanced, which obviously is advanced, we have HTML, list of links, and store directory. The list of links is a very powerful tool if you want to start creating some extra navigation, especially on the column side of the page. Again, there's over 30 widgets to kind of explore and understand, but they're all pretty self-explanatory, and they all work very similar, as in once we add the widget, we then are going to have different configurations as far as the settings or properties, then the design, potentially the background properties, and the layout properties. Once you've explored each widget and have had some time to kind of push each one to its limits, they'll all really start making sense. Hopefully you find this video helpful. Thank you.